What is going on, my fellow Ghost Speeders? Sergeant Moose here, back with another Evil Dead the Game video. And in today's video, guys, I want to talk about something that I've wanted to make a video about for a while now, and that includes the quality of life and longevity of Evil Dead, and what improvements and additions, things like that, that can make this game strong for years to come. So let's jump into it. Now, before we go any further in this video, guys, I just want to mention right off the bat, this isn't the type of video that's like, oh my goodness, this game is dead, what are we going to do to revive it, it's dead already, nothing like that, because I still do believe that this game has a very strong player base. However, I think some big changes are going to have to be made to bring new players in and to keep current and veteran players going for the long run. So with that said, guys, before this game released, whenever it was being talked about, whenever it was being teased, things like that, I and a few others mentioned that whenever this game does drop, because it's a horror asymmetrical game, it's going to have Dead by Daylight type numbers, which it did. And then we mentioned that after a while, after the luster kind of wears off a little bit, it'll probably dwindle down into a smaller, maybe cult fan base, probably bigger than a cult fan base, but it's going to grow down into a smaller community. And there's a few reasons why. Now, a lot of people are always looking for that asymmetrical horror game that's going to be the quote-unquote Dead by Daylight killer. Well, I have unfortunate news. It is not going to be Evil Dead the game, and that is an okay thing. And I think the main reason why is because, in terms of Dead by Daylight, it's its own entity, no pun intended, but they have the freedom to go out and get licensed killers and survivors and things like that to bring in the game from all over the horror spectrum. Now, when it comes to Evil Dead, the game is tied to simply one franchise, which is Evil Dead, so they can only take characters from the Evil Dead franchise. Of course, Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi said that, they are presiding over this whole thing, that if Saber wants to get a little creative in the game and introduce some characters and things like that outside of what's currently in Evil Dead, they would take a look at it and they wouldn't be opposed to it. So that's definitely a good thing right there. Now, guys, one thing I hate talking about whenever I'm making videos like this when it comes to horror asymmetrical games, I hate bringing up Dead by Daylight because I know everybody's opinions on it. People love it, people hate it, people are kind of in between, but I don't like to compare every asymmetrical game to Dead by Daylight. But one thing is for sure is the continuation of Dead by Daylight's success. I mean, the game's been out for, I think, 6 or 7 years now, and it is still very, very successful. So one thing is for sure, for another asymmetrical game to be successful like Dead by Daylight, they're going to have to kind of take a look at what Dead by Daylight does right and maybe even try to implement some things like that into the game, which Saber Interactive did say whenever they made Evil Dead the game that they did take a look at other horror asymmetrical games and they did borrow some tactics that they used to implement into their game as well, for longevity and things like that. So with that said, guys, what exactly does this game need to succeed and keep going strong in the long run? Well, I think first of all, players want something that they're going to grind for every single day. They want a reason to come back to these games every single day. Something to push forward to, something to work on, something to look forward to unlocking, things like that. That's what keeps players going in these types of games. Any type of live service game like that is what keeps players coming back, is the grind, essentially. So one thing's for sure, guys, one thing we know, that there is a bit of a grind in this game, but it does come to a halt eventually. Once you reach level 25 on your survivors, you reach level 45 on your demons, which most of us did, a couple weeks, a month after the game came out. There's really nothing to look forward to in terms of, moving towards a goal or anything like that, aside from your player level, which really doesn't do anything additional or anything to help you out. So, of course, we can take a look at maps. We know we're going to get more of those. We can take a look at characters. We know we're going to get more of those in the future too, which is going to be great for the quality of life of this game. But the thing is understandably, they're not going to come out fast enough to keep players wanting to continue to grind. So in that case, what else do we need? So I've written a few things down, guys, that I think would help this game succeed in the long run. I've talked it over with a few other players, and they agreed as well. We've kind of came up with a few things that we think could instantly make this game last and want people to be coming back every day. So first things first, what I got first, guys, is daily and weekly challenges for, you guessed it, spirit points, but we'll get to that because we know how spirit points work in this game. But daily and weekly challenges, always something to grind for every day. Maybe have a different character using a specific weapon, getting, a specific kill in a game or something like that. Anything like that, finding things in games. This would also intrigue players to go out and try different characters that maybe they haven't tried before and stuff too as well. So I think that would be an amazing addition. It doesn't seem, I'm not a developer, but it doesn't seem like that it would be that hard to implement. Next, I want to talk about an addition, guys, that I think would definitely help out too, would be an in-game cosmetic shop. So essentially all unused spirit points that you don't have, you could use in that cosmetic shop to buy different things. Now, because Saber is on contract with Evil Dead, of course, I don't know how much you could change your character's appearance in terms of cosmetics. I don't know what kind of contract they have written out in that essence, but at the same time, I was thinking something like with your weapons. So hear me out on this, guys. Have a shop with all of the weapons. Of course, we know there's a ton of melee and ranged weapons in this game. Have a shop, maybe with different skins for each weapon that you could use unused skill points, or should I say spirit points, to go ahead and purchase these cosmetic weapon skins. So when you do find that weapon of choice out of a chest or something, your skin will be equipped to it. I think that would add massively to the longevity of the game, and also you could get rid of those tons of spirit points that you have left over that you can't use them on. I think right now I'm sitting at like 4.5 million spirit points, and there's absolutely nothing I can do with them. Yes, of course, when a new character comes out, I'll be able to insta upgrade them to 45 or 25 respectively, but even at the end of that, I'm still going to have a ton of unused spirit points. So I think an in-game customization shop would be absolutely necessary, absolutely vital, and it would keep players playing and trying to accumulate those spirit points to buy their favorite skins. Also, guys, I wanted to mention about my spirit points. I've seen players out there with, 10 million, 12 million spirit points, unused spirit points that they have nothing to do with. So let's talk a little bit about legacy skins. I was talking this over with somebody else. I believe it was Anorak, a good friend of mine that also plays this game. We were talking about legacy skins. Maybe have a really badass skin that you have to spend, 500,000 or 1,000,000 spirit points on to be able to unlock this skin. Maybe a badge or something like that your character can wear, showing that, hey, I play the shit out of this game, I have no life, and I bought this skin. No, I'm just playing. But at the same time, I think it would be able to be a good way to dump a ton of those unused spirit points and be able to have something really, really cool to show for it on your character. And last but not least, guys, what I have is, and now this is probably the most controversial thing, it always is in these games, is, drumroll please, a battle pass. Now, before you roast me on this, I just want to mention that typically in games I am opposed to battle pass systems. However, in horror asymmetrical games, I do like the battle pass system. Now, I think it would be really cool, maybe have something every few months to have a really cool skin at the end tied to the battle pass that players can grind for, always have something to do daily to keep that battle pass going. And I know a lot of players hate this, guys, and I'm not the biggest fan of it myself, but it does work in live service games. It really, really does. Now, do I think this game absolutely needs a battle pass? No, I don't. But these are just some suggestions that I'm throwing out there, and I really hope that Saber does see this video because, they're always open to suggestions and things like that. And I think a few of these are really, really good. So, with that said, guys, again, Battle Pass is absolutely last resort, but I think it could probably work in this game. But again, I don't think it's needed. So with that said, guys, that's what I have for right now. I just want to see this game survive, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't really go by Twitch streams or Twitch counts, anything like that. Of course, this game's not on Steam, so you can't see Steam charts, but I think it's pretty obvious that the game has dropped off quite a bit. It's still very strong, but it has dropped off. I just don't want to see it drop anymore. I really want to see this game survive. The Castle Kandor map is absolutely amazing. The Army of Darkness DLC, incredible, but they're just not going to be enough to keep the ball rolling. So, with that said, guys, I want to know what your thoughts are on this video. If you have any suggestions, where do you think this game's headed? Because I love the Evil Dead franchise, and even more importantly, man, I absolutely love this game. It has nothing to do with being a fanboy of Evil Dead. This game is just simply fun. And players that don't even know anything about Evil Dead need to know about this game because it's a blast. And I just want to see it, live strong in the long run. So with that said, guys, my name's Sergeant Moose. I want to thank everybody for watching the video. Let me know your suggestions down in the comments, what you thought of my suggestions. And, yeah, we'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care.